Why don't we undock here? Hopefully I've done this okay, and we'll back to here, and we'll put on RCS, and we'll back away from the station, and we're going sideways. I don't want to do that because it's a pretty tight fit in here. And in here, as I have reaction wheels, and as usual, I don't have them on any kind of... That's a battery. I think they're in here somewhere. Oh, why didn't I put this on an action group? There they are. And we will toggle these on. Okay, and aboard, we only have 2 of the 6 Kerbals that were on the station. We have Rob D.V. Kerman, our pilot, and Dan P., our scientist, and the goal is to get out to the moon. There's the moon there, because in orbit about the moon, I have an asteroid, and I want to investigate said asteroid, and I also have in orbit about the moon. Oh, I'm going to do it this way, are we? There we go. 2 Kerbals in need of rescue. One of them has been there for a long time. Legee here, in his rather annoying retrograde orbit about the moon here. We left him behind last time because he picked an awkward orbit to get to compared to the other ones. But I also picked up another rescue contract, Javier O, who is in a normal prograde equatorial. See, he picked a good orbit. But I think I'm going to go for Legee, and then we'll see if we have the delta V left. 2,313 meters per second of delta V in the NERV 1. So might be able to make the plane change. We'll see how it goes. But also in orbit around here, I have, oh my gosh. I have a lot of stuff. But this is the one I'm really interested in. Let's set him as a target here. And then we can turn off the rest. There we go. We have the ARM 1, which is attached to the asteroid. And I intentionally put it in an orbit that is very similar to Legee's orbit. So whether we go to Legee first, or probably we'll go... Let's go to the asteroid first. We'll go out to Legee, and then after all that, we'll see if we got the fuel to be able to pick up Javier. And if we do not, we'll scoot on back. And if we do, we will try to. But I want to make sure to leave enough room in here. This can carry 6 Kerbals, so I wanted to leave enough room. And there's no reason to have beyond a pilot and a scientist aboard. I don't think... Well, now that I'm wondering, I think that might not have been smart. Because I have 2 engineers aboard here. Yeah. You know what? They're not too far away. I should have... Where's our... Let's EVA. I should bring an engineer too. So let's EVA Michael. This isn't... not doing this the smart way. We'll make sure Michael has EVA propellant. He does. Or she does. Sorry. Should have brought Michael along. Whoa! Don't crash into wings and things. Okay, we're up there, right? It's okay. We'll get up there. He's like, don't leave me behind! Okay, and I think there is a hatch right here. Actually, no. Let's put Michael in the forward cabin here. There's 3 people that can fit in this cabin. We'll put our rescuees in the back. Don't want her sitting with the losers who get themselves stuck in orbit. There we go. Okay, now we got 3 Kerbals here. That's good. All right, and before we get really any further in all this, I do want to, once again, thank my wonderful patrons who continue to support this channel, and a very special thanks out to Lex Luter, who has a message for you all, which is to always reach for the stars. So thank you very much, Lex. Thank you very much to all my other patrons, and thanks to everybody else who supports this channel, whether that is through subscribing, liking, commenting, all of that stuff that feeds that wonderful amorphous algorithm that we're all slaves to. Okay, let's see. Let's get ourselves to the moon. Here, I can put it in this way. 8:55. There we go. And focus our view here. Come on. Too much junk. There we go. And again, we're going to start by going for the asteroid. And the asteroid's going around this way, so I do need to make sure I'm going in the same direction, or else things don't go well. That's the wrong way. Oh. Retrograde gets me closer this way. Zoom in here. I always like to do this with the minimal amount of fuel I can, which is potentially lazy on my part, but I really don't care. If we come down too low, we're not even going to hit the moon, so. Going the wrong way on the time. Okay, that's getting pretty close. I think we're barely... Alright, and all I want to do is put my periapsis. Actually, our periapsis is coming very close to our relative ascending node here. So that will help facilitate our rendezvous a little bit. But I think I need to just come in. Oh, that was a lot closer. Get that periapsis right above the orbit there. We'll do a little bit. It'll be a tiny little correction. That looks okay. That looks okay for now. All right. Let's see here. Is this thing... Oh, wait. Let's deploy all our stuff. And we'll run our KOS script here, which is somewhere hidden in all of this. There it is. And you can always see the nearby probe bodies. I think it shows everything that's rendered. So I don't know, maybe you can I control things? I probably can. Best not, I don't want to try it though. Let's run our alignment script. This is just for solar panels. And activate that engine. And we're all filled up with fuel, and I'm hoping we have all the resources we would need. We certainly do. Wastewater, we got a little bit of wastewater. Somebody didn't waste any time. Should have gone before we left. Okay. So we'll let this sort of sort itself out. And delete. And we got the burn coming up in just 6 minutes. So, and we're already pointing in the right direction. Oh, RCS can come off. There. And I typed an R here by mistake. Yep. Let's just do this. Oh, do not come in front of us, station. I think we're okay. Getting a battery warning, which I really don't care about. It is a 3-minute and 1-second burn because we don't have the greatest of thrust to weight ratios on this vehicle, but what we do have... Oh wait, I can run. Oh my gosh. Getting all... There we go. Let's let the script take care of it. That's why I have it, right? Don't have the best of thrust to weight ratios, but what we do have is efficiency, and that's what we're going for. All right. Here, we can... A little closer here. You gotta be a little bit careful when you separate from stations and stuff, that as you come around, you don't end up drifting right into the line of fire with the station. I have done that before, especially if you're going to be doing the burn through automation. But let's say goodbye to the station. Here we go. Goodbye, station. Not exactly roaring off at high accelerations, but that's okay. So yeah, we'll come back with at least one more Kerbal, hopefully 2 more Kerbals. Or I can probably do some time warping while we do this. Now, one thing, actually, while this burn is going, you might recall from 2 streams ago, I think it was 2 streams ago, I was having issues with this central tank rotating on me. It seemed to get worse with every time I rendered this vessel. This central tank would rotate, and it knocked the thrust vector out of... It was no longer pointing through the center of mass of the vehicle because everything was no longer symmetric. And this thing was basically unflyable. As you can see, it's flying fine now, and everything seems to be well centered. You might be wondering how I fixed that. I fixed that by putting up an entirely new one. So I'm sorry about that. I went into the VAB. I rebuilt the bottom half of this using fresh parts, and then I Alt F12'd my way back to the station. I deorbited the old one, obviously making sure all the Kerbals were out of it, and I added this one in instead. And I made sure, though, that when I did that, I sent this thing up with the appropriate amount of resources, so it's not, it did not add any more resources to the station. So I was careful about sort of not using this as an opportunity to sneak up more liquid fuel and life support and stuff like that. I didn't do that. But right now this thing seems to be doing well. Let's take a look at our meetup here. Oh, I can see we just have to do a little bit more. Okay, we'll get rid of the burn. Look at it from straight up. Oop. All right, and we'll go to here. Bop, bop, and realign the solar panels and get thinking about that little bit of a correction. It's not going to be much. All I need to do is bring this periapsis down so it's just touching the orbit is really all we're after here. So this is going to be a very small burn. Play with the timing, see what gets us our most efficient location. It really doesn't seem to matter too much. No, let's get back down to here. A little bit up. And you can tell if the AN here and the P are at the same spot, that means you're right at the spot where the orbits are crossing. So I'm thinking that's all we're talking about there. We have a 1.9 meter per second burn here. I'm debating whether or not just do that with, I think I'll just do that with RCS. A little bit of radialness. Kind of bring it in a little bit, like that. That looks pretty good. All right, has this thing lined itself all up yet? Oh yes, it has. Delete and end that program, and yeah, let's get out there. Crossing radiation belts, of course, but this thing has plenty of shielding. Let's get up here so we can keep an eye on our Kerbals. The radiation outside is 0.014 rads per hour, but inside it's only 1.369 millirads per hour. So we're okay here. Okay, let's shoot. No, I'm going to do this with RCS. Let's just get ourselves onto the maneuver node. It from here. And I don't have to wait for this time to get right at 0 because this is hardly a time critical burn. So I'm just going to put on RCS once I'm on there. If I get a little past, I don't care. Okay, let's just hit H. I might have wanted to do this with the engines. Kind of committed myself now. I don't think I'm using up a lot of monopropellant with this. No, I'm not. No. It's all good. Just go a little bit back onto that maneuver node. A little bit more H-iness there. That's fine. RCS off. Run that alignment. Whoops. Keep hitting I for some reason when I think of alignment. I don't know what that's about. All right, and so we're going to be here in 4 hours, crossing into the moon's SOI. Let's open up Kerbal Alarm Clock. Add an alarm for that menu. I know that there's a built-in alarm clock now here with 1.12, and I'm not really all that used to it. So I'm kind of hesitating just using it. Where's the moon? There we go. I will say that I'm going to have to get used to it because we are closing in on 10,000 subscribers with this channel, and my idea is once I do that to pick a subsequent Wednesday and do a 10-hour marathon stream in the latest version of 1.12, all stock. And see, it's going to be about getting to and landing on and planting flags and getting back from as many bodies in the Kerbal system as I can get in just 10 hours. That's going to be the plan. Starting in science mode, right with a fresh new game. So I'm going to have to unlock everything and all of that kind of stuff too. And I think that should be a fun time. So that'll probably happen within the next few weeks or so. All right, we already have our target selected, so let's facilitate ourselves here a rendezvous. And you can see again, as this is coming down, the maneuver nodes are not moving. All you got to do to fix that is pop ahead like a second or two until they jump. There they go. And I'm probably going to want to, what's our inclination difference here? It's 15 degrees, but the better place to make that inclination change is way out here, and the further out this is, the cheaper that inclination change is going to be. So what I'm actually going to do is let's back off on this burn. Whoops, that's the wrong way. Let's back off on this burn a little bit. Yeah, back off a little more. I'm really just looking at the time. Let's see. Back off one more orbit. The further out that is, the cheaper this gets. Let's do 2 more orbits. I'm very cheap. Okay. That's 4 hours and 25 minutes. So that's what I was really looking at as the time, 4 hours and 25 minutes. So I just didn't want this to take too long. So we will still finagle here a bit of a rendezvous. Where is that one? I know there's a lot of numbers. 32.4 kilometers. Wow, this is going to be itsy bitsy. This doesn't have to be perfect by any stretch because I'm going to then do the plane change out here and we'll tweak it again. But that should work out. Okay. So again, I always time warp at this point. Or not time warp, quick save at this point because I get paranoid. Let's warp to that burn. And run our maneuver. Oh, wait, I can do it this way. Run our maneuver executor. Hitting the up arrow to go back to previously typed in commands. Which apparently everybody who does a lot of coding knows that that is a thing. But it's completely new for me. Okay, it's getting itself. It'll be fine. It's going to get itself there. All right, we're getting ready to get started with this burn. And then we'll go out and get Legee, and then we'll see if we can get any more. Get behavior too. But our primary purpose here is science. That is what the main game here is about, is collecting science from that asteroid. I would love to have 500 science. I'm only at 100.3, so I'm not sure this will put me over the top. But I want to get 500 science because that will unlock the whiplash engines and the toroidal engines from which you can build yourself a very spiffy and functional single-staged orbit spaceplane. That's what I want to get to. I'm not sure this is going to do it, but I do still have a fully fueled and it can probably be fueled over a few times. Lander attached to Minmus Station. So probably after this, not this stream, but probably the next one, we'll be looking at getting ourselves to Minmus and doing some landings for... Okay, let's see here. So we got to do ourselves a plane change. So we're going to do it way out here. And I can see it's got to come this way. And then while you do that, you're also going to be messing up your encounter here, because you can't help but do that and push out your periapsis. So I want to, I've got to look at a few things here. Let's get this descending node selected. Okay, let's put in a little bit more retrograde on that. Getting our encounter again. I think I overdid it. No, this way. See the AN. A little bit of prograde, I think. Yep. Just fiddle around with the normal and with the prograde and radial part of this. I'm trying to do two things at the same time. One is I'm trying to get this inclination difference to be as small as I can get it. The other thing, of course, I'm trying to get the maneuver to be as close as I can get it together. So it takes a little bit of fiddling. This way. Yeah, I overdid it. Now I can see I overdid it. That way, this way. Let's see here. So got 0.6 separation right there, and where is my angle? Unfortunately, every time I click on one, oh, that's 0.3. I can see it out here. Can we? The distance is the thing I want to minimize more than anything. Oh, I might be at the end of this. I think so. What if I play with the timing just a little bit? Does that make a difference? A little bit of 1 second intervals into the future here. Really doesn't matter, does it? Of course, I changed it to 0.7, 1.7. Okay. Stop fiddling. 1.7 kilometers, we'll go with that. So that is a burn coming up in 2 hours and 45 minutes. It is a 6-second burn, so what we'll do is just nerf the thrust on this just a little bit. The longer the burn, the better I find my script does. Hello, Kerbin. All right, let's get out there. Again, run a maneuver executor. This one is mostly normal, just changing the plane. But notice it's only a 30 meter per second burn. I could have guaranteed you it would have been more expensive to do it down there. Because when you do these, any burn that's away from either the prograde or the retrograde vectors, which this certainly is, the slower you're going, the cheaper it is. And we're going pretty slow out here. Our orbital velocity is only 111 meters per second. Time warp a little closer. All right. And we can watch our... Here we go. We can watch this closest approach indicator here. It's going to dance around a little bit, but it should settle in on a fairly small number. 3 kilometer closest approach. 1.6 kilometer closest approach. Can we do better than that? Let's put on the RCS. I think that was about what I had. Well, that is making it better. No, now it's making it worse. So that's about as good as it's going to get. 1.66. Okay. And we are there in 2 hours and 48 minutes. Put the thrust back up. We're going to use alarm clock. We're going to add in an alarm, give us 5 minutes warning coming into our target. There we go. And yeah, because we're going to come in with some velocity. All right. I don't think I'm going to need this anymore, so let's just get down there. I'm getting complaints in the chat about the order in which you unlock things on the tech tree, specifically this time, that you get the NERV engine, a nuclear-powered engine, before you get an RTG, which is simpler technology. And RTGs are used all the time on distant probes, and we don't really use nuclear engines that much in real life. So it does sort of beg the question as to how realistic that is. I mean, let's face it, there's lots of things on the tech tree that really sort of is bizarre to me, how far they are up the tech tree, like ladders. We'll have jet engines and, you know, all kinds of chemical rocket engines before we'll ever unlock ladders. Always find that one sort of funny. Okay, let's see. How are we doing here? We got about 149 meters per second for our relative velocity. We're going to be there in about 4 minutes. Let's see if we can not knock off a little bit of this. That's making it worse. Going this way. And that's making it better. Which feels like you're pushing the retrograde vector in the wrong direction, but don't forget our paths are curved. There we got a nice view of a crescent curve in there. Just kind of keep going this way. As long as this closest approach number keeps going down, I'm just going to keep burning in this direction. Come a little bit this way. Yeah. 31 kilometers away. We now have a closest approach of about 1 kilometer. Probably increase the throttle here a little bit. Noticing our time to... Oh, it's starting to come. I want to knock off more of this speed. I guess that's really what... Oh, I just noticed the speed was going up. When was the last time I serviced this engine? Oh, we still got 19 ignitions on it, so that's okay. Okay, let's start knocking off some of this velocity. I think I need to let myself get a little bit closer. I'm pushing up my closest approach here too much. Getting closer. Still going at about 100 meters per second relative to our target, so I do have to be a little careful here. Okay, about 1.5 minutes. Let's really start... I don't want to let myself get too close and find myself blowing by. That'd be bad. I'm still pushing up my time too, so that's always a good sign. And of course, there's always the small issue of spraying superheated plasma at your person you're trying to rescue. But I still got 68 meters per second relative velocity, so I'm not ready to go down to RCS just yet. Okay, I can get closer still. Oh, wait a minute. This is an asteroid. This isn't a rescue. Let's remember what we're doing here. My mistake. My mistake. This is an asteroid. Rescue comes next. There's nobody aboard over here. We can spray away with our radioactive exhaust. Oh, I think it's I can see it now. Yeah, it's more than just simply a waypoint. All right. Let's get ourselves in nice and close. We're only 20 meters per second relative speed. I see an asteroid. I see a vessel attached to the asteroid. All right, we're down to a meter per second. I think I can use RCS at this point. So there is our target. You know, I'm just thinking, I got 1160 meters per second, which is a little dubious for getting to our, it is very dubious for getting to our other person. Well, we'll be able to get to Legui, but to the other person in that retrograde orbit. But one thing that I really didn't consider, here, let's just do a little bit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why did I do that? Oh, I'm on the wrong other way. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when I talk and do stuff at the same time. There we go. I'm pushing the prograde icon onto here. Fired up the engine just temporarily for some bizarro reason. But what I was trying to say is there is quite a lot of fuel on this vessel here still that brought this thing here. And it does have a docking port. So theoretically I could dock these two together, but I got a feeling I put that docking port in a rather silly place. But one thing at a time. I don't know if we can dock these two together, that'd be great, but I really have kind of my doubts on that. Okay, let's get in closer. Because when I put the docking port on, I wasn't thinking about docking just random vehicles to it. I was thinking about bringing up like just a bunch of fuel. Okay, slowing down. Oh. Oh my gosh, fingers in the wrong spots. Let's just switch to it. Where's that docking port? I put it, oh, it's right here. And I'm looking at this thing with its air brakes that come off like pedals. And the fact that this is right on an asteroid. I don't really think. Well, let's set it as a target just for yucks anyway. But I really don't think I can get in there. I could detach this vessel, I suppose. How much fuel was on there again? 1,331 units of liquid fuel in that big old tank. Well, here, I can look at it here, can't I? 1,705 units of liquid fuel. And this vessel right now has 328 units of liquid fuel and can only hold 700. So we could fill up entirely. This might just be worth it. This might be worth it. All right, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. First here, we're just going to come in close. Warp a bit more. We're going to come in close, and Dan P is going to go out and do herself a little bit of a survey of the asteroid, and we'll see how much science this adds up to. Okay. Okay, let's bring ourselves to a relative stop here. There we go. There we are. And what we'll do is, let's see, we'll use this back capsule, which has nobody in it. We'll use it as kind of like an airlock. So I'm going to transfer Dan P over to here. I'm pretty sure Dan is our scientist. Yep. And then we're going to take this one. We're going to turn off the pressure control once I find it. Pressure control. Turn that off. And then that means that when we leave here, we're not going to end up... it won't try and repressurize the capsule, and that will save us on our nitrogen. Okay, Dan P is going to EVA. I'm going to again look, and she has monopropellant. Some people might recall that I got burned on that once. Okay, let's get towards this asteroid. I know we can do a surface sample. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What am I... Where are you going, Dan? There we go. Temporarily confusified. There we go. Okay, so I think we just got to get in close here, and we can take a sample. And we have collected samples. And what is that? That's got to be science. A sample here. 70 credits of science, and it weighs, we took 33.88 kilograms. That's Kerbalism that adds in that mass idea. All right, where's our ship? There we are, down there. So that's 70 science. I don't think there's any, oh wait, can she do an EVA report? Like, I think the EVA report's just around the moon, right? Yeah, doesn't see the EVA report as anything new. Okay, so that's it. We just took a sample of the asteroid. That's all we can do.